Jen recently gave me a flu, so I'll be doing a day in the life. What I usually do is trim my goatee around the edges, complete my mewing streak. So if you're just curious or need to know what mouthwash I just use a whitening staining one. My whitening strips are coming in the mail tomorrow, so I'm so excited. I also tend to use my piercing aftercare just as when I basically first got my piercings, they were really blotchy, and now they're not, so it seems a win-win situation. And I have a warm shower, and I should not be speaking right now because I'm ill. But, you know, warm shower. I have this really bad itch right now, so it doesn't really help. Once I do that, like shit. Taught me I will not be doing any exercise today because in the past experience to not rest properly and just do a massive amount of exercise. So now I'm forced to drink water slowly. I open my blinds and think about having food because if I don't have food, I'm gonna suffer. I'm gonna get hangry. I'm gonna eat the camera. So that is the whole entire reason why I actually need food. Me not having food does not go well together. My shoes yesterday, I don't know how to feel about them. Compared to my last shoes, the kind of Stranger Things Galaxy shoes, they look like a congestion of baby snow. Like, look at, I felt like I could have done a much better job. I have my paint smoothie, now I'm joking, guys. Wait, peeps, if you want a quick and cost efficient cereal, take this tip. You know, golden nuggets. Basically, just take your golden nuggets. I used to make this smoothies. There's actually like a contraption online you get for this. If I put the golden nuggets inside the smoothie, get a packet of, you know, just massive oats or Irish projects, whatever you kind of feel. Protein powder, not that I need it, but it really does help just to because extra calories. Now what you want to do is add some water. So once I've had my breakfast, what I will do, clear my sinuses, as every time before I had a cold, it seemed to work. It's charmed, but apparently you have to have a certain basically temperature of water, but I'm just gonna wing it at this point. They usually look like this, but you could probably get different versions with already, so the solution goes in another end and stuff, and it fills up basically, which is probably more renewable and easier if it goes back into the water, but you know, I'm just gonna go ahead with this one. So I'm gonna just do a few of these, a few bottles, and I'll be back to you once I'm done. So the two things we're gonna do today is clean all around here, my entire room as a whole, and the second thing we have to do is practice basically just modeling poses because, you know, practice makes perfect, you know what I mean? It may sound silly in the mirror and stuff, but I'll probably apply to agencies and stuff. Overall, if you're wondering what I'm doing besides from YouTube nowadays, and TikTok and, you know, all that ginger jazzer, which makes me happy. So my bed, which I'll take out later, of course. Isn't that funny? I went to my bed, that's so sick. Anyway, I'm gonna make my bed next, so that's how it's working. Let's go. Now, we're gonna hoover the room. So I was supposed to do a cinematic masterpiece in this video, so I just decided to do something simple as my camera for some reason, even though I charge it all night, barely had any battery. And then I was like, do I really want to use my camera? No, I'll just use my phone. I'm so critical of myself that I low-key, if I'm making a really cinematic video, I just have such critical thoughts of myself all the time, even though I say I'm a pretty good storyteller throughout the video, hopefully it's okay. But whenever I think to myself, just think like, it doesn't really cohere well, and I'd just rather have fun customizing shoes than they become absolutely rubbish. And then I'd be like, oh no, I have to put this in the video still. Genuinely, I would wash and dry my sheets, but then I just get tempted to basically just wash them, and then it's really cold. And then even if I dry them, they're still cold, and I have to heat them up, and it's too much effort for today. So I'm gonna leave that for the sheets for today, even though you're probably saying, oh, it's great to have clean sheets, but it takes so long and I'm ill already. So if I have cold sheets, it'll just make the coughing and the chest pains worse than it already is. And I made the mistake, believe it or not, to do all of my normal exercise while I was still ill for a week, and I told no one because I just felt so hollow inside, and like I don't like to accept a meal because one of these days I'll miss out on those days that I spent just resting and doing nothing while I'm ill. I usually watch TV shows and stuff like that when I'm ill, but I haven't really watched too many shows recently, so that'll be a nice kind of development into. I really read comics, but I like comics, but I absolutely love basically reading all the characters out loud and doing voiceovers of them, so I get too tempted, so I can't even do that either. So that is a bit of a shame. But I'm gonna have one of these tablets every 6 to 8 hours. They're basically good for colds. Because I don't want to bore you with all the outtakes, we're gonna do some crochet. But believe it or not, I hate making stuff for myself. So I am going to make a beanie for my good friend with a cool seal inside out of orange. I know it's like a challenge and stuff, and I never crocheted in my life before, but you know, he means so much to me, so I may as well crochet him something. So, I did have a crochet book, but I just want to go straight in the deep end. I did not understand any of this. I felt like such a noob. So I'm not gonna show you the rest of the day, because for the rest of the day, new hearing by the way, I literally just eat and sleep and watch movies, and that's not really a fun video to watch. So I've shown you all the cool beans parts. So see ya, peeps.